The reason for green redemption funds is the failure of political will and markets to address the global warming crisis. We see the failure of political will everywhere we look, in every major country, North America, Europe, wherever you look, you see politicians who simply have one eye on the next election. And every time the going gets rough in the green story, they bail. They go for what is the most expedient solution. So they are not up to the task, up to the challenge of the crisis that we are facing. Nobody is giving the kind of speech that Winston Churchill did when faced with the Nazi menace. Nobody is giving a blood, toil, tears, and sweat speech. It's as if Winston Churchill had said, "Oh, I'm sorry, old chaps, but we can't afford the Battle of Britain." That's what we're getting from politicians now everywhere, North America, Europe. Markets are also failing to address this issue. The time horizon is simply too small. In some cases, with speculators, the horizon is literally milliseconds. So no one is putting the money into this issue that needs to be put. On the contrary, the markets are acting in such an opportunistic way that they are putting money against the survival of the human race. They are pouring money into a new kind of fossil fuel, a new way of putting more CO2 in the air through natural gas, using something called hydraulic fracturing, some technology that's actually more polluting than the old way of drilling natural gas. So what we are seeing is a failure of markets and a failure of politics in the face of a compelling global warming crisis. Here's how it works. It's based on moral will. In the absence of market forces, in the absence of political will, individuals and organizations with a long-term view have to exercise moral will. What they have to do is put all of the money into green investments, long-term green investments, all dividends reinvested, the money locked up for a long period of time, none of the profits eaten, none of them distributed, just reinvestment after reinvestment. So we have the effect of compound interest over a long period of time. The reason is no backsliding. What we need is an irrevocable commitment of investment, massive investment in this case, to counter the catastrophic consequences of global warming. To prevent those consequences from getting worse, we need to make a commitment that's up to the challenge that we are facing. So we are making an investment for our grandchildren and even great-grandchildren. Right now, people say, "Oh, I love my grandchildren." Well, if they really love their grandchildren, let them act as if they love their grandchildren. Let them make the kind of commitment which will guarantee that their grandchildren actually have a future. Right now, they don't have a future, the way things are going with global warming. It has to be done by organizations and institutions with a long-term horizon, investment horizon, because those with a short-term investment horizon are essentially killing us in the global warming story. So it has to be university endowment funds. It has to be religions. It has to be families that have a long-term view. It has to be sovereign wealth funds that make a claim that their country should last a long time. It has to be those groups and or individuals who truly commit themselves to a long-term view.